There's a restaurant in the hotel. There's a restaurant in the hotel. There's a restaurant in the hotel.
In a mathematical function, every output value corresponds to a specific input value. In a mathematical function, every output value corresponds to a specific input value.
They constructed this project entirely with recycled metal. They constructed this project entirely with recycled metal. They constructed this project entirely with recycled metal.
Among the numerous benefits, bicycles are incredibly cost-effective and economically advantageous, both for individuals and city infrastructure. Among the numerous benefits, bicycles are incredibly cost-effective and economically advantageous, both for individuals and city infrastructure.
Their first day at work was successful. Their first day at work was successful. Their first day at work was successful.
These were built by skilled laborers who were paid in goods and supplies. These were built by skilled laborers who were paid in goods and supplies.
I expected green lawns and quiet streets in the suburbs. I expected green lawns and quiet streets in the suburbs. I expected green lawns and quiet streets in the suburbs.
I felt very sorry that I had put them to so much trouble. I felt very sorry that I had put them to so much trouble. I felt very sorry that I had put them to so much trouble.
I've been working on my application and trying to make it as strong as possible. I've been working on my application and trying to make it as strong as possible.
They received praise for their good behavior. They received praise for their good behavior. They received praise for their good behavior.
Modern methods of construction offer benefits such as increased strength and durability. Modern methods of construction offer benefits such as increased strength and durability.
You are a school teacher, aren't you? You are a school teacher, aren't you? You are a school teacher, aren't you?
The company prioritized the use of recycled materials during the manufacturing process. The company prioritized the use of recycled materials during the manufacturing process. The company prioritized the use of recycled materials during the manufacturing process.
Authentic learning is an approach that emphasizes the application of knowledge and skills in real-world contexts. Authentic learning is an approach that emphasizes the application of knowledge and skills in real-world contexts.
Despite graduating years ago, he still has access to his university email account. Despite graduating years ago, he still has access to his university email account. Despite graduating years ago, he still has access to his university email account.
Of course. What is it? Let's see. First of all, you should make sure that you are familiar with the mission and values of the organization. They will likely ask you questions about how your experience and skills align with those. They might also ask you behavioral questions about how you would handle certain situations. It would be helpful to have some examples of times when you've handled similar situations in the past. For most public service organizations, business casual is usually fine unless they specify otherwise in the invitation. You want to look professional but also approachable and like someone they would want to work with on a daily basis.
Do you prefer to sleep late or wake up early? Why? Do you prefer to sleep late or wake up early? Why? Do you prefer to sleep late or wake up early? Why?
That is a tough question, and I would say that it depends on the stage of life that I'm going through. Just to name an example, just to say an example, when I was a kid, I I like to go to bed late because I could play video games or just keep reading something. So I didn't really care, although I had to wake up at 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. because in Colombia we do that when we want to go to school. Uh, but also as a teenager, I really enjoyed like being an idol because I'm more productive at night. But as an adult that I am now, I'm not sure that I want to go to bed late because you can feel the age, and you know that you have to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you are just losing health and years of your life expectancy. So yeah, I still go to bed late, but only if I have to work on an important project. But if it's possible, I try to work on that on the morning, in the morning, or during the day. But I don't know. I mean, I enjoy sleeping, staying awake until late, but I know that I shouldn't do that. There is a plethora of people looking at a woman, a spoke woman, who is standing tall and looking at them. Or maybe she's not even speaking. Now I realize that she might be just taking a photo. All of them are smiling and they're probably more or less the same age. So I think that most likely they are students. Maybe there is their teacher also. And that could be like a goodbye after they finish a course at the university, probably because of their age. And it's a very sunny day. You can see the shadow of the woman taking the photo, and also a car in the background which has dark painting. Also, there is a light post with a yellow sign, which might um suggest that it's dangerous to stay there, but they don't seem to care. They are standing on pavement. Well, this is the sidewalk, or maybe it's even a square because it's big. And you can see some paths for pedestrians and also a light post. And if you look in the background, you can see the other sidewalk, and it looks like a the gift that I just gave to someone that was a steering wheel. It's actually game controller, but it looks like a real steering wheel from a driving car, and it was very expensive. I never could have imagined that just controller for a video game could be so expensive, but it's very realistic, and it shakes, and it has like some force. Like for example, when the car crashes, it moves, it turns, so and it pushes you. So it actually takes a lot of, I don't know, stamina just to keep playing. You play only for 50 minutes, but then you are very tired, and it's very realistic and very engaging. It's not easy, nevertheless. It has like some pedals, and it actually works to learn how to drive to some extent because I mean you cannot like get the gravity force, the G force, like in a real car. And I gave it to my brother, and it makes me feel like nice because I know that everybody needs like something to enjoy because life can be tough sometimes. So it's a nice distraction just to keep him motivated.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about listening to music. Talk about when you usually listen to music during your day.
Well, I usually don't listen to music, although I am a music lover. I can't because I'm always working or I'm sleeping, so it's not that easy. But whenever I don't know, I feel like kind of blue. I try to listen to music, and that cheers me up, especially upbeat music or just relaxing music before going to sleep.
Interesting. I have another question. Who is a singer or musician you really like, and what makes them special?
There are many, but I consider that the one that I like the most could be Shakira, probably, as I have said previously, because she's not only an interesting singer, she's very committed. She has worked through all her life, always getting hits, which is not common. Most people get one hit or two, but she keeps getting hits through all her life, and she is also very extremely smart. I guess that's the main reason.
Interesting. Let me ask you another question. How is listening to music with others different from listening to it alone?
Well, it is very different because when you're listening to music alone, you don't care. I mean, you listen to what you really enjoy, what is connecting with your feelings at the moment. But when you're listening to music with other people, you want to create a nice ambience, like a positive mood or something that you can share and that resonates with everybody close to you. So you have to choose like some middle ground.
Interesting. I've got a different question. How can listening to music from other cultures broaden your worldview?
That's tough since I like to listen to music from my own country mostly. So, but I know this language shapes the way you think, and that is not only for speaking; it works for music as well. So maybe you get to know um, different approaches to life, like for example, Colombian music might be like very relaxing sometimes and friendly, and that is not common in other cultures.
Thanks for talking about listening to music with me. Now I'd like to change topics and ask you a few questions about memorable experiences. Describe a person who always makes you happy.
Without a shadow of a doubt, that would be my mother, because I don't know, like she has a heart of gold, and I always look up at her, and I don't know, she has always taken care of me and my brothers when we were children, and that is something that I really admire, respect, and value, and that's it.
Thanks! I have another question. Describe how an experience affected your view on an important issue.
I have one because I don't have much experience. Wait, am I talking? Yeah. But that is about teaching. When you're a student, you think that everything works, but when you're a teacher, you realize that only a few things are reliable.
Thanks. Let me ask you another question. Tell me about a time when you had to make an important decision.
That was when I was trying to choose what major to study. I liked arts, I like business administration, I like science, maybe biology. So at the end of the day, I chose the most flexible one, although it's the most common. And many people don't like that, which is business administration. But I said, well, if I can run a company, I can work on any field at the end of the day.
I see. I've got a different question. Describe the role of a mentor or guide in making a personal experience influential.
I used to work as a guide, as a tourist guide, although I only work this job for a couple of months. I know that it saves time and it makes you feel more confident. Let's say that you go to a different country, you don't know the people, and you only have a couple of days. So, thanks to the guy, you're not wasting your time because you know the highlights and you feel less afraid. Also, you can share your thoughts and
Thanks for discussing memorable experiences with me. Have a nice day.
I actually thought about this, and what I think older generations could learn from the younger generation, well, my generation to some extent, but especially from the youngest generation, is adaptability. Not long ago, people could stay working only at one company or two companies. I mean, you people expected to keep the same job for years, even decades, or all their lives. And although that is still possible, I think that it's not as easy or common as before because technology is advancing quickly and that changes how companies work all the time. And we just don't know what to expect because we got AI, many jobs or industries would change. Also, we had events like the pandemic. Some companies closed and also changed their model. Because of that, we have better communication. The world is more interconnected, but that could be also an issue since you might get tariffs or even worse and or pandemics, and that could be like something abrupt. And because of this, I think that younger people are more like learning on the way and changing on the way, adapting as fast as possible. And I assume that most of them are not afraid of this because it's already on their mindset. And I think that it's not only about job, it's about everything. But mm, probably they're gonna say the same about their grandchildren, that these grandchildren might adapt quickly, but it's hard to guess. I think that another thing that they could learn from them could be maybe like working more online. I mean, it's related, but I mean, like interacting more with others, not only when it comes about work, but maybe about building relationships. For example, many older people like to speak through the phone, or if they use WhatsApp, they send voicemails. And I guess the younger generations prefers to text to share photos and those kind of things, which even for me are kind of hard sometimes, like sharing photos. I'm not used to that, but I guess it's interesting. We have to learn from everyone.